You love your pet. They sleep beside you, curl up on your lap, maybe even share your bed, but that flea treatment you trust to keep them safe could be poisoning both of you. From nerve-damaging chemicals linked to seizures to pesticides banned in Europe but still sold here, the dangers are real. Today, we expose 9 flea treatments seniors must avoid and the 2 that are actually safe. Coming in at number 9, we have Hartz Ultra Guard. Hartz is a name you have seen on pet store shelves for decades. Bright packaging, affordable prices, promises of fast-acting flea control that keeps your furry friend comfortable and your home pest-free. For seniors on a fixed income, Hartz seems like the smart, budget-friendly choice. But what Hartz does not tell you could put your health and your pet's life at serious risk. The Environmental Protection Agency has received tens of thousands of adverse event reports linked to Hartz flea and tick products. We are not talking about mild skin irritation. We are talking about pets experiencing violent tremors, excessive drooling, vomiting, and in the most tragic cases, death. The active ingredients in many Hartz products include pyrethroids, synthetic chemicals designed to attack the nervous system of insects. The problem is, these chemicals do not always stay on the insect. They transfer to your pet's skin, their fur, and then onto your hands, your furniture, your bedding. For seniors, this is particularly dangerous. If you are on blood thinners, beta blockers, or medications for heart arrhythmia, your body may not process these chemical exposures the way a younger person's would. Pyrethroid exposure has been linked to respiratory irritation, skin rashes, and neurological symptoms including headaches, dizziness, and tremors. Imagine petting your dog before bed, then waking up with a pounding headache and tingling in your fingers. You might blame it on aging. You might blame it on stress, but the real culprit could be sitting right there in your pet's fur. The EPA conducted a major review of spot-on flea treatments in 2010 after a surge of reported pet deaths and adverse reactions. Hartz products were among the most frequently cited. Between 2008 and 2014, over 44,000 adverse reaction reports were filed with the EPA specifically concerning spot-on flea products. And yet, over a decade later, these products remain on store shelves. The packaging still promises safe, effective flea control. The reality is lawsuits, heartbroken pet owners, and a pattern of harm that has never been fully addressed. You trust the brands you grew up with. You assume that if a product is sold at major retailers, it must be safe. But Hartz proves that assumption can be deadly. The creamy consistency of that flea treatment, the chemical smell that lingers on your pet's coat for days, those are warning signs hiding in plain sight. That acrid, slightly sweet odor is not cleanliness. It is neurotoxic residue settling into every surface your pet touches. Why do you think products that have caused this much documented harm are still sitting on shelves in every pet aisle in America? Does it feel like profits matter more than your pet's life or your health? At number 8, we have Sargent's Pet Care Products. Sargent's has been around since 1868. That is over 150 years of marketing themselves as a trusted name in pet care. The packaging features happy dogs, wagging tails, and promises of powerful flea protection. But behind that legacy is a disturbing history of pet injuries, EPA warnings, and chemicals that have no business being anywhere near your home. In 2010, the EPA specifically called out Sargent's as one of the worst offenders in the spot-on flea treatment category. Reports flooded in describing pets suffering seizures within hours of application. Cats were especially vulnerable. Many experienced severe neurological reactions, including loss of coordination, muscle twitching, and fatal respiratory failure. The active ingredient in many Sargent's formulas is permethrin, a chemical so toxic to cats that even the product labels warn against using it on felines. Yet cross-contamination happens constantly. A dog treated with Sargent's flea drops curls up next to the family cat. The cat grooms itself after contact with the dog. Within hours, that cat could be fighting for its life. For seniors, the risks extend beyond your pets. Permethrin is classified as a possible human carcinogen by the EPA. Studies have linked chronic exposure to an increased risk of lung cancer, lymphoma, and leukemia. A 2017 study published in the International Journal of Hygiene and Environmental Health found that permethrin was detected in 89% of household dust samples tested in American homes. When you apply Sargent's flea treatment to your pet, that chemical does not just stay on their fur. It transfers to your hands. It gets on your couch cushions, your bed sheets, your carpet. Every time you touch your pet, you are potentially absorbing permethrin through your skin. If you have respiratory conditions like COPD or asthma, permethrin exposure can trigger bronchial inflammation, coughing fits, and difficulty breathing. If you are on immunosuppressive medications for conditions like rheumatoid arthritis or lupus, your body's ability to detoxify these chemicals is compromised. The headaches, the fatigue, the unexplained skin rashes, they might not be random. They might be connected to that cheap flea treatment you thought was protecting your pet. Sargent's promises value. They deliver risk. The harsh chemical odor that fills the room when you squeeze that applicator onto your pet's neck is not a sign of effectiveness. It is a red flag your body is trying to warn you about. Now at number 7, Adams Flea and Tick Products. Adams is marketed as a comprehensive flea solution. Sprays, shampoos, spot-on treatments, carpet powders. They have products for every surface and every pet. The branding is clean, the prices are reasonable, and the promises are bold. Kills fleas on contact, breaks the flea life cycle, protects your home and your pet. But the fine print tells a very different story. Adams products rely heavily on a combination of pyrethrins and pyrethroids. These are neurotoxic insecticides that work by disrupting the nervous systems of fleas and ticks. The problem is, these chemicals are not selective. They can also affect the nervous systems of mammals, including your pet and you. According to the National Pesticide Information Center, pyrethroid exposure in humans can cause a range of symptoms including skin tingling, burning sensations, numbness, headaches, nausea, and dizziness. In severe cases, exposure can trigger tremors, convulsions, and loss of consciousness. For seniors who already deal with balance issues, cognitive decline, or neuropathy, adding neurotoxic chemical exposure to the mix is a recipe for disaster. One fall caused by dizziness from chemical exposure could mean a broken hip and months of recovery. Adams carpet powders are particularly concerning. You sprinkle the powder onto your carpet, let it sit, then vacuum it up. But microscopic particles remain embedded in the carpet fibers. Every time you walk across the floor, those particles become airborne. Every time you sit on the couch, they transfer to your clothing. Every time your grandchild crawls across the floor, they are being exposed to pesticide residue. The powdery residue you can feel between your fingers when you touch the carpet, the dusty smell that never quite goes away, those are constant reminders that your home has been contaminated. The EPA has documented cases of pets experiencing severe skin burns, hair loss, and chemical dermatitis after Adams product applications. Imagine your dog scratching constantly, patches of raw skin appearing where the treatment was applied. You call the vet, spend hundreds on medications and tests, never realizing the flea treatment you trusted was the cause. Adams promises protection. What they deliver is a cocktail of chemicals that linger in your home long after application. That powder smell, that slightly greasy residue on your pet's coat, those are not signs of premium flea protection. They are warning signals that your home is being contaminated by substances your body was never designed to handle. Have you ever noticed your pet acting strange after a flea treatment? Drop your experience in the comments below. Moving to number 6, Zodiac Flea and Tick Products. Zodiac positions itself as a powerful, long-lasting flea solution. Their spot-on treatments promise up to 30 days of continuous protection. Their sprays claim to kill fleas at every life stage. For seniors tired of constantly battling flea infestations, Zodiac sounds like the answer. But that promise of convenience comes with serious hidden risks. Zodiac products contain S-methoprene, an insect growth regulator that prevents flea eggs and larvae from developing into adults. On paper, this sounds effective. In practice, S-methoprene has been flagged by toxicologists for its potential endocrine-disrupting properties. Endocrine disruptors interfere with your body's hormone systems, the same systems that regulate metabolism, blood pressure, heart function, and immune response. For seniors managing thyroid conditions, diabetes, or hormone-sensitive cancers, exposure to endocrine-disrupting chemicals is particularly dangerous. Your body is already working hard to maintain hormonal balance. Adding chemical interference from flea products can throw everything off, leading to symptoms that seem unrelated but are actually connected. Unexplained weight changes, mood swings, fatigue, increased blood pressure readings that your doctor cannot explain. If you are on thyroid medication, these disruptions can make it nearly impossible to find the right dosage. The EPA's registration documents for S-methoprene note that while it is considered low toxicity in adults, concerns remain about chronic exposure. When you apply Zodiac treatments month after month, year after year, those exposures accumulate. The chemical residue builds up in your home environment, your pet's system, and potentially your own body. A 2019 study found that endocrine-disrupting chemicals can accumulate in household dust at levels that exceed safety thresholds. Consumer reports describe pets experiencing lethargy, appetite loss, and behavioral changes after Zodiac applications. One pet owner described their normally energetic dog becoming listless and refusing food for days after treatment. Another reported their cat developing severe vomiting and diarrhea that required emergency veterinary care. These are not isolated incidents. They are patterns that point to a product doing more harm than good. Zodiac promises lasting protection. What they deliver is lasting chemical exposure with consequences that may not appear for months or years. That convenience comes at a cost your health cannot afford. If this helps you stay safer at the store, hit subscribe. It is free and it means you will never miss these exposés. Number 5 on our list is Sentry Flea products. Sentry is another budget-friendly brand that fills pet store shelves nationwide. The packaging promises veterinarian-quality flea control at a fraction of the price. For seniors watching every dollar, Sentry seems like a sensible choice. But sensible and safe are not the same thing. Sentry products have been the subject of numerous consumer complaints and adverse event reports. Pet owners describe applying Sentry flea drops to healthy animals and watching them deteriorate within hours. Symptoms include excessive salivation, dilated pupils, muscle tremors, difficulty walking, and in severe cases, seizures. One heartbreaking account described a senior couple who applied Sentry drops to their elderly cat before bed. By morning, the cat was unresponsive. The veterinary emergency visit that followed cost over $800 and could not reverse the neurological damage. They lost their companion of 14 years because of a product that cost less than $20. The active ingredients in many Sentry products include fipronil and permethrin. Fipronil works by attacking the central nervous system of insects. It is highly effective at killing fleas. It is also highly persistent in the environment, meaning it does not break down quickly. When you apply fipronil-based products to your pet, residues remain on their fur, their bedding, and any surface they contact for weeks. The oily sheen you notice on your pet's coat after application is not conditioning. It is pesticide residue spreading across their entire body. For seniors, this persistence is a problem. Fipronil has been detected in household dust samples months after application. Every time you vacuum, dust, or simply move through your home, you potentially stir up fipronil particles. Inhalation and skin contact become ongoing risks, not one-time events. Research published in Environmental Science and Technology found that fipronil levels in household dust can remain elevated for up to 6 months after a single application. Studies have linked fipronil exposure to thyroid disruption in laboratory animals. While human data is limited, the precautionary principle suggests avoiding chronic exposure whenever possible, especially for seniors already managing thyroid conditions or taking medications that affect hormone levels. Sentry promises affordability. What they deliver is a chemical burden your body does not need. The money you save at the register could cost you far more in vet bills, medical appointments, and health consequences down the road. Is it strange how the cheapest flea products always seem to cause the most problems? Do you think that is coincidence, or are corners being cut that you never hear about? Most people never learn which flea treatments are actually safe, but we will break it down at the very end of this video. Stick around. At the number 4 spot, BioSpot Active Care. BioSpot positions itself as a science-backed flea solution. The branding emphasizes research, effectiveness, and long-lasting protection. For seniors who want to feel confident about their flea treatment choice, BioSpot's clinical language and professional packaging seem reassuring. But behind the scientific facade are chemicals with troubling safety profiles. BioSpot products contain EAT Ofenprox, a pyrethroid insecticide marketed as having lower toxicity than traditional pyrethroids. Lower toxicity does not mean no toxicity. It simply means the manufacturer can claim a safer profile while still using neurotoxic chemicals that affect both insects and mammals. The word lower is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that marketing claim. The EPA requires BioSpot labels to include warnings about potential skin sensitization and eye irritation. What the labels do not adequately convey is the cumulative effect of repeated exposures. Every monthly application adds to the chemical load in your home. Every time you pet your treated animal, residues transfer to your skin. Over time, what seemed like low-level exposure becomes chronic exposure, the kind that is hardest to detect and easiest to dismiss. You might notice your hands feeling dry or irritated. You might develop a persistent rash you cannot explain. These subtle signs often get attributed to age or weather changes when the real cause is sitting on your pet. Consumer complaints about BioSpot describe pets experiencing chemical burns at the application site. The fur falls out, the skin turns red and raw, and the animal scratches constantly trying to relieve the irritation. The smell of singed hair mixed with chemicals is unmistakable. Veterinarians report seeing these cases regularly, yet the products remain on shelves because they meet minimum regulatory standards. Standards that may not adequately protect sensitive populations like seniors and their elderly pets. For seniors with compromised skin integrity, whether from diabetes, circulation issues, or simply the natural thinning that comes with age, handling chemically treated pets carries additional risk. Your skin absorbs substances more readily. A minor exposure that a younger person might metabolize without issue could trigger inflammation, rashes, or systemic symptoms in an older adult. BioSpot promises science-backed protection. What they deliver is another pyrethroid-based product dressed up in professional language. The clinical packaging cannot change what is actually inside that applicator. Landing at number 3, Bayer Seresto collars. Bayer is a pharmaceutical giant. When you see their name on a product, you assume it has been rigorously tested and proven safe. The Seresto collar has been marketed as a convenient, long-lasting flea and tick solution. One collar provides up to 8 months of continuous protection. No monthly applications, no messy liquids, no remembering schedules. For busy seniors, this sounds ideal, but the convenience of Seresto has come with devastating consequences for thousands of pet owners. According to reports obtained through the Freedom of Information Act, the EPA has received incident reports linking Seresto collars to over 2,500 pet deaths and tens of thousands of adverse events including neurological damage, skin lesions, and severe allergic reactions. Congressional investigators have called for recalls. Pet owners have filed lawsuits. Veterinarians have spoken out about the injuries they have witnessed. And yet, Seresto collars remain available for purchase at major retailers across America. In 2021, a USA Today investigation found that Seresto collars had been linked to nearly 1,700 pet deaths, making it one of the most dangerous pet products on the market. The active ingredients in Seresto collars are imidacloprid and flumethrin. Imidacloprid is a neonicotinoid, the same class of pesticides implicated in the collapse of bee populations worldwide. Neonicotinoids work by attacking the nervous system, causing paralysis and death in insects. The question is, what happens when those same chemicals sit against your pet's skin 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for 8 months straight? The collar releases a constant stream of pesticides that coat your pet's fur with an invisible film of neurotoxic chemicals. For seniors, the risks are compounded by proximity. Many older adults spend significant time with their pets, holding them, petting them, allowing them to sleep in the bed. Every moment of contact with a Seresto collared pet is a moment of potential chemical exposure. The collar's active ingredients are designed to spread across the pet's coat, which means they also spread to every surface that pet touches. Your pillow, your favorite chair, your lap while you watch television. Reported symptoms in humans include skin irritation, respiratory issues, headaches, and neurological symptoms like tingling and numbness. For seniors on blood pressure medications, heart medications, or neurological medications, these additional chemical stressors can interact in unpredictable ways. The slight numbness in your hands you attributed to carpal tunnel. The persistent headaches your doctor cannot diagnose. The respiratory issues that seem worse at home than anywhere else. These could all be connected to that convenient collar around your pet's neck. Bayer promised set-it-and-forget-it convenience. What thousands of families got instead was heartbreak, veterinary emergencies, and the devastating loss of beloved companions. The sleek design of that collar hides a chemical reality no pet owner should have to face. Why do you think a product linked to thousands of pet deaths is still being sold? Do you think regulators are protecting you or the companies that fund their operations? Have you or someone you know used Seresto collars? What happened? Share your story in the comments. The number 2 spot goes to Pet Armor Plus. Pet Armor is marketed as the affordable alternative to expensive veterinary flea treatments. The packaging directly compares itself to premium brands, promising the same active ingredients at a fraction of the cost. For seniors trying to provide good care for their pets without breaking the bank, Pet Armor seems like a smart financial decision. But cutting costs on flea treatment often means cutting corners on safety. Pet Armor Plus contains fipronil and S-methoprene, the same problematic ingredients found in several other products on this list. The manufacturer claims these formulas are equivalent to leading brands. What they do not emphasize is that equivalence in active ingredients does not guarantee equivalence in quality control, purity, or safety testing. Generic pharmaceutical and pesticide products can vary significantly in manufacturing standards. The inactive ingredients, the carriers, stabilizers, and solvents that deliver the active chemicals may differ from brand name versions. These differences can affect how the product is absorbed, how it spreads across the pet's coat, and how it interacts with skin and fur. A cheaper manufacturing process often means more impurities, inconsistent concentrations, and unpredictable reactions. Consumer reports for pet armor include alarming accounts of pets experiencing immediate adverse reactions. Dogs and cats developing chemical burns within hours of application. Pets becoming lethargic, refusing food, and hiding from their owners. One senior described applying pet armor to her aging beagle and watching him pace frantically, panting and whimpering, until she bathed him repeatedly to remove the product. The desperate look in his eyes, the frantic pacing, the way he kept trying to rub his back against the furniture, these are images that stay with pet owners long after the incident. For seniors, the human health risks are similar to other fipronil-based products. Thyroid disruption, neurological symptoms, and chronic chemical exposure from residues in the home environment. But there is an additional concern with budget products: inconsistency. When quality control is less rigorous, batch-to-batch variation can mean one application is tolerable while the next causes severe reactions. You never know which tube you are getting. Pet Armor promises premium protection at budget prices. What they cannot promise is the consistent safety standards that protect your pet and your health. Saving money on flea treatment is not a bargain if it costs you veterinary emergencies and worry. Do not go yet. The safe alternatives are coming right after this final product, and they could change how you protect your pet forever. And the #1 flea treatment seniors should avoid most urgently is Hartz Flea and Tick Home Spray. We started this list with Hartz Spot-On treatments. We are ending with their home spray, a product that takes all the risks of topical applications and spreads them throughout your entire living environment. Hartz Flea and Tick Home Spray is marketed as a comprehensive solution for flea infestations. One spray treats carpets, furniture, bedding, and pet areas. The promise is total home protection against fleas, ticks, and their eggs. The reality is a toxic fog that lingers in your living space for days, weeks, or even months after application. When you spray pesticides throughout your home, you are not just targeting fleas. You are coating every surface your family touches: the couch where you watch television, the carpet where your grandchildren play, the bedroom where you spend 8 hours every night breathing in whatever particles remain airborne. For seniors with respiratory conditions, this is an invitation for disaster. The fine mist settles everywhere, leaving behind an invisible layer of chemicals that can take weeks to fully dissipate. The active ingredients in Hartz home sprays include permethrin and tetramethrin, both pyrethroid insecticides with documented neurotoxic properties. When these chemicals are sprayed as aerosols, they become easy to inhale. Microscopic droplets enter your lungs, cross into your bloodstream, and circulate throughout your body. The EPA warns that aerosol pesticide exposure can cause respiratory tract irritation, coughing, wheezing, and shortness of breath. Studies show that indoor pesticide use can result in exposure levels 10 to 100 times higher than outdoor applications. For seniors on oxygen therapy, those managing COPD, or anyone with compromised lung function, spraying pyrethroid pesticides indoors is reckless. Even healthy seniors may experience headaches, dizziness, nausea, and cognitive effects like difficulty concentrating. These symptoms often go unrecognized because they develop gradually and mimic common age-related complaints. You might think you are just having a bad day. In reality, you are slowly poisoning yourself in your own home. But there is another dimension to this product's danger that affects seniors specifically. Many older adults have reduced sense of smell. You may not notice the chemical odor that would alert a younger person to ventilate the area. You may sit in a freshly sprayed room for hours, absorbing toxins through your skin and lungs, without any warning signal from your senses. The protection mechanism that would normally tell you something is wrong simply does not function as well as it used to. Hartz promises home protection. What they deliver is home contamination. That fine mist settling on your furniture, your bedding, your kitchen surfaces. It does not just kill fleas. It creates a chemical environment no senior should be living in. The betrayal here is not just about your pet. It is about your entire home becoming a zone of pesticide exposure. The very place you should feel safest becomes saturated with neurotoxic chemicals that can affect your heart, your brain, your lungs, and your quality of life. According to the American Association of Poison Control Centers, Thousands of pesticide exposure cases are reported every year involving household flea and tick products. In 2022 alone, poison control centers received over 35,000 calls related to pesticide exposures. Many of these cases involve seniors who did not realize the dangers of using these products in enclosed spaces. The coughing fit that would not stop, the headache that lasted for days, the unexplained fatigue and mental fog. These are not just signs of aging. They could be signs of chronic pesticide exposure happening right in your own home. If you have used Hartz home spray or any similar product, consider having your home professionally cleaned. Open windows, run air purifiers, and wash all fabrics that may have been exposed. Your health depends on taking action, not waiting for symptoms to appear. What flea treatment have you been using? Let us know in the comments so we can help each other stay informed. The first safe option, Wonderside Flea and Tick Spray, is a plant-based formula that uses cedarwood oil and other natural ingredients to repel and kill fleas without synthetic pesticides. Wonderside products are free from pyrethroids, fipronil, and other neurotoxic chemicals. They are safe for use directly on pets and throughout the home. For seniors concerned about chemical exposure, Wonderside offers effective flea control without the hidden health risks. The scent is pleasant cedar rather than harsh chemicals. The formula does not leave greasy residue or require evacuating rooms after application. You can treat your pet, your furniture, and your bedding with confidence that you are not filling your home with toxins. The natural cedar aroma is something you can actually enjoy rather than something that makes you hold your breath. Wonderside has earned certifications from environmental and pet safety organizations. Their products undergo rigorous testing for both efficacy and safety. Unlike the chemical cocktails found in mainstream flea products, Wonderside works with your body's defenses rather than against them. For seniors managing chronic health conditions, reducing chemical exposure wherever possible supports overall well-being. Your liver and kidneys have enough to process without adding synthetic pesticides to the mix. The second safe option, Vet's Best Flea and Tick Home Spray. Vet's Best Flea and Tick Home Spray is another plant-based option that combines peppermint oil and eugenol, a component of clove oil, to kill fleas on contact. Vet's Best has been certified by the EPA's Design for the Environment program, which recognizes products that meet strict safety standards for human and environmental health. What makes Vet's Best particularly suitable for seniors is its gentle formula. The spray does not irritate skin or respiratory passages the way synthetic pyrethroids do. You can use it in enclosed spaces without worrying about ventilation. You can apply it directly to pet bedding, furniture, and carpets without creating toxic residue that lingers for weeks. The fresh peppermint scent is actually pleasant, a stark contrast to the chemical smell of conventional treatments. Vet's Best products are widely available at pet stores and online retailers at reasonable prices. Protecting your pet and your health does not have to mean spending a fortune. It means making informed choices about what you bring into your home. Both Wonderside and Vet's Best represent what flea treatment should be: effective pest control that does not compromise your health or your pet's safety. These are the products that earn your trust by delivering on their promises without hidden dangers. Do not risk your health on toxic flea treatments that poison your home and your pet. Now you know which products to avoid and which ones actually work safely. Subscribe now, and if you are watching on TV, tap your remote so you never get blindsided again.